I'll never be afraid again. Say my name. Say my name. And every combination, we are shining. And we will never be afraid again. Say my
But there's a side to you that I never knew all the things you say they were never true in the games you play, you would always win, but I set fire to the rain, watch it pour as I touch your face, well it burned when I cried, cause I heard it screaming out your name.
Finally, welcome back guys, back out in the shed, and we're finally going to start getting some work done on the ute. So we have the tubs turned up, we have falling kit turned up, and I've just blocked the wheel under there on the milk crate, and I thought we might have been able to get away with just tubbing this side, but we want it low. So same problem as I wanted with my car. I wanted to have it low, so the wheels were going to hit the tubs, and he wants this low, so we're just going to cut this out. So I'm about to just get the grinder and cut along here, see what's in there, and then we're probably going to cut up to here somewhere above where all the spot welds are, and yeah, essentially just have the tub go right across, same as we did with that, just so we get that bit more clearance here, because I put the wheel under and it sits at a good ride height, which is pretty low but looks nice, and it's just hitting on all this rolled edge here. So if we've got the tub and it's straight across in, we've got a lot of clearance. We'll have to see how this pans out, whether this bit gets in the way, whether we cut that out and play it in there, same as we did with that, or whether that bit can stay there. But to start, I'm just going to slice around here and go from there. So we got it all sliced out to here. I do have to go a bit higher on the edge here, but I just want to get this bit out for starters. If it'll come out. Fold back to there. Might cut it in two. I'll slice it there and then slice it down here again. So I was only going to cut to the square bit there, but once I got there, it was a bit dicky, that bit anyway, so I was like, nah, I'm just going the whole way. So that is the edge of the quarter there. So plan is to get a bit of thick stuff, like I did with that, some, I don't know, 3 mil. So it protects this guard here, 3 mil, flat up there, and then the tub will go to it, so it'll be nice and strong. And I've just given myself that a lot more clearance just here too, so it should be nice and good. So I measured how far in it is from the center point of the chassis there. That chassis curves a little bit, so I did grind it back there, but the tub's just going to come to here, so I have to just fill that little bit. Remember not to do that on the other side. So that's the furthest part in, and then all the way into there where I measured to is 320 mil. So that's where I cut the tub to. Anyway, I had me square, and I was like basically going like that, measured, and I measured 320 mil from I was measuring it like off this side here, 320 mil, but then going down to 270 because that lined up, and thinking I'm measuring 320 from here, but not realising that I was meant to be measuring from here. So I put the tape down of where I marked it, but luckily this is exactly 50 mil and the tape is at exactly 50 mil, so turns out the other side of the tape ended up being right on 320, so it's perfect. I'll just cut down that side of the tape and it should be right. Just marked out my height, so I'm just going to slice straight across there and then mind that little curve there, and then just slice straight down either side, and hopefully that should be pretty close to where I need it. And then for those other bits, I'm just going to fill them in using a bit of other plate bit of other steel that I've got. Got another sheet of steel over there and sheets everywhere, so yeah, so I'll get to cutting this. That's pretty well cut to size. I've just got to cut this back to here. That's in line with that, and just once again, I've got to cut right up to here. So I'm gonna get into doing that. I'll just mark that, mark there where I'm gonna cut along. So I'll cut along there, and then this mark close to this one, I'll cut along there. And bit of luck, should be able to slip that in there. So I've just gotten it into place. It's pretty well lined up with there. Just sat it in there roughly. It's pretty well lined up in there. There is that slight gap there, but that plate will come up there. And on this side, there's a little bit more of a gap, but I think it's flared out a bit more here. So even when that plate goes in, it'll just go to the side of it and it'll still be straight. Because that's not far past there. So once that plate's in there, that'll should be nice and good. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it come in. All this has to be cut off, so it sits into place there, and that'll be sheeted down there like that. That'll be plated off there, so you can have a bit of sheet there, plate that off. But yeah, I'm actually very, very happy with how it's come in here. So I'm just going to put the ute down and see what it looks like from up the top there. And then I'm pretty happy with that. And then, yeah, should be able to maybe cut the other side, get it to this position, or, yeah, not sure. I actually don't have the welder here at the moment. I have to go pick it up off the old man. So, but I'm pretty happy with how that just is sitting in there in place. I'm just going to put the level on it, make sure it's pretty well level. But I'll do that when I'm tacking it in there anyway, to make sure it's all level. But once I get this down, I'll have a bit of a look. Should be pretty good there. So yeah, that's what it looks like inside. Does look like it's sitting down a bit that way, but it could be a bit of an illusion. No, it does seem to be, so might need, yeah, it's touching a little bit there in a few spots, so it'll probably need a little bit of trimming just around here, a bit of grinding, and then I'll be able to lift that up inside there and get that to a bit more level. I wish I had this thing when I done mine, because I done all mine by eye and by measuring. So yeah, see, I've just lifted that up that little bit, and that'll zero it out. So once I trim that around there, it should be pretty well perfect. I'll have to fill in a few gaps here or whatnot. But on the other side, I might be able to like make a bit of cardboard now that I've got that and know where to go from here, and I'll be able to make that a bit better. The front here, yeah, it looks pretty good. I did start cutting there before, which will be the perfect spot to cut. And then where this plate goes, this floor goes in here, will just need notching or whatnot, but that's no biggie. So I've just cut around this one, and I'm about to pull this piece out. I think it's still jammed up this end a little bit. Maybe there. Might give it a bit of a hit with a hammer, see if I can jar it out a bit, or it might be down in this section too. See what I can do. It's all cut out to the quarter there. May need some fine tuning a little bit. Oops, looks like I nicked that wire there. I have to just give that fix that wire up there for the tail lights for him. I'm just redoing that. And that'll fit. Stay sitting up in there. Have to fix it there a little bit too, where I nicked it. And then I'll probably put that up high so it's not in the way when I'm welding here and stuff like that. I didn't realise that was in there, but not to worry. I'll fix that up. So I've just marked out on this tub, done me tape. So I'll cut down this side of the tape, and then I've marked across here where it needs to be cut, and then same on the other side. And then once that's cut, I'll sit it up in there. I'll trace around it to where I need to cut on the ute, and then it should be pretty sweet. Both tubs sitting in there, and I was just looking at this. I've got to cut this section of the tub out too, because it's going to be nowhere near where that's got to come down. So yeah, I'll cut that off, and then I'll probably bend my own, because it shouldn't be too hard to bend. I'll just make up a bit of flat steel, and then I'll just put like a slight curve in it to try and follow that wheel arch down. I do have to take a little bit off here because I've cut that a bit wonky. It's looking a bit rough now, but it's because I got plenty of stuff I still got to cut out at the moment. But yeah, I just got to cut that out more. That'll bring down that level, which would then mean I'll be able to push that up so it's flush, just sitting up there, and then all that'll get welded along there, plated up there, and then yeah, that'll be flat down there as well, so all this will get cut out and shit. But nah, she's yeah, coming together slowly. And then back here, not too sure what on this side, it's a bit different. Yeah, see, I'll probably slice that bit. I'll trim that up so it's nicer. Probably even slice that and try and just push that back, and then add a little bit of metal in here or something like that, because that's not that far out. So if I can probably nearly reuse that bit, but yeah, just push it back in there, cut all that off, neaten it up and stuff. I've just made up a couple rough templates. So there'll be a sheet of metal that'll fill that bit in and go all the way down to there, and then it'll probably won't go all the way down and probably go up to where that is there. So probably cut up there. I might cut that out now. So that there's a rough idea on the plate I've got to make for up in there. So we'll go down like that and across the chassis bit there. And then there'll be another flat bit to go across there and come out to here to box that bit in. I haven't worked out the back here yet, because I do want to try and See if I can make it symmetrical so it's the same as the other side. But I might have to put some support in behind there because that'll be flapping around. So I'm still working that bit out. But on this side, same thing. So we'll have our plate that'll be made out of metal plate. And then this bit will be boxed right up to there. And then it'll be ground and made look nice around this edge here. Then at the back there, I should be able to still use that original piece there. Just cut that and then weld her up to here. And then I want to try and make the other side, try to make it the same as this. It's a little bit harder because it's got the, it has a longer tub there. So, yeah, I'll have to see. Made up these two plates. They're only roughly sitting in there, but that'll go there, and that'll box it off here, and the other one will go here, which I think I explained in the last video, but just knock that up. That's all that needs doing. It's pushing back flat and tack welding in there. So that's that one side, and then obviously the tub will come down flush with it, and that'll be welded right across there. And then I've done the same the other side. Plate in there. And then, yeah, same thing. Tub will be welded, that'll be pushed back in. Tub will be welded there nicely. And then that piece will be welded there nicely as well. Pull this tub out, and I've just been doing some grinding everywhere I'm going to be welding and stuff like that. So now I'm going to put the tub back in, try and get it lined up. Same as the plate that I've got for here. I was doing a little bit of trimming on that plate. Not sure where I set it. There it is there. Give it a little bend, and I was doing some trimming, so it'll fit in there a lot better now. But yeah, I'm going to start getting ready to tack this in. I've just got one tub just tacked in. I've been putting the square along here, trying to get that square while I tack it and try not to get heat in there. This bit here will need to be filled there, but slow process doing this because I don't want to warp anything, and I want to keep, that's a pretty noticeable part of the car, so I want to try and get this bit very, very particular. So a couple of tacks along there. I'm just about to lift her up and then see if I can tack this plate in. Smashing out a little bit of welding at the moment. Still needs tightening up, grinding back a little bit. But I'm just about to cut this piece out with cardboard and make a plate up for there. I haven't welded across there yet. I'll leave that for now because I don't want to warp this, and I want to do that nice and carefully. But as soon as I do this bit, this tub is like the whole front half of it and everything of it is pretty close. Yeah, and then I just got to make up a bit for down here, and we should be, yeah, pretty sweet. So I've done a little bit of grinding, so it's looking a lot better now, but still needs a bit more. But I've got to trim that down, weld them two. Still needs a piece made up for in here. So there's still a fair bit to do just in this one tub alone. It's starting to take shape, but there's still a lot to do. Still got to weld across there, cut all these things off. And then start working out the back. I haven't even started on the back, so trim that a bit. And I'll also probably make up some belt cutters for it as well, just like we did with mine, just to help so it doesn't damage this back here as much. I'll work that out when we get to that bit. Probably just a little one along here or something like that, just because this is in the way. So I got this tub all tacked in place now. Got our front panel done. Just none of this bit is all done or anything. Got to make up this plate here. I've just cut some of these off. And on this side's still back to how it was. But I think I might call it alright because I've cut myself a bit. I was hammering and then my hand went up and like smacked. Might have been there. Don't know. It's done something, but I'll clean it up, check it out. Might call that for the night. It's nearly midnight, so that'll do. Just made up fill-in piece for here that keeps the roll going round. I've just got to do one for the bottom, like I did on this side. And then slice that down there and then run some welds up here, make it nice and strong. Got all this bit tacked in and I've just started running some welds down there and along there, up here. So try and slowly get it welded off. Try not to get too much heat in each section so I don't warp it. So I just cut out these templates. Got one here and the other one is somewhere. Was somewhere. Where the hell did I sit that? Here it is. So I'm just about to cut this section out for here. So it'll be like that. And it'll be like that, like so. So I'm going to trace it out on a bit of metal, cut that out. As I showed you just before, I started welding around the edges to fully seal it off. These are going to be fully welded because I want to add as much strength as I can in there. And then they'll obviously be seam sealed over the top and stuff like that. But pull these back out again, trace them out, we'll get them cut. Close. So from there, whole way across, taper it out. That's pretty close. So it just took me over an hour to just make this one template, which goes up in here. Sit it up in there. Oh, let me line it up properly. So it basically goes up in here. It's not in there properly, but goes up in there to plate all that off. So might quickly trace that onto a bit of metal and see if I can get it to sit up in there. I'm not sure if it'll fit this side either, actually. I hope so, because far out, it took forever. It'll go close, actually. Maybe just a little bit of modifying for this side, but I'm going to trace that out on a bit of steel and see if I can cut it for up in there. Sorry guys, I've been getting into it a fair bit, just trying to smash out a heap of work. So this tub's all fully welded, grinded, and I'm just about to whack some edge primer over it. And then after that, Sikaflex. I don't want to Sikaflex first because I want to make sure there's primer under it to protect it for the future. So that's all done. Little panels all welded around, little panels welded there. This side just needs grinding, and then the same. But yeah, so I'm gonna give this a bit of a spray and go from there. So that side's all painted, this side's all grinded on top. I'm just about to blow all the shit out because that's a lot of grinding shit. So I'm about to blow it all out, make it look a bit neater in here. I'll give this one a spray. This edge primer I got, it's just from Bunnings, but it's real weird. Like, it comes out real thin, and it runs really easy and just stays wet for ages, but seems to dry right, like a nice matte colour. It's only edge primer, it's only meant to protect the metal. But so I'm gonna blow everything out. I'm gonna wipe that down, give that a spray, give this another coat, and then go underneath, do some more grinding. But that should nearly be the top done bar the Sikaflex. So looking pretty good. Now that's all blended in, so once this side's done, look even better. But once all this is all cleaned out, it's gonna look so much better. Just done a little bit of a clean up. I can't do any grinding or anything under here because the paint's wet on the other side and I don't want to burn it. So I'll wait for that, but I might wheel the diff over and have a bit of a look to see what I can do with that. See how it's gonna fit and stuff like that. I'm pretty well happy to say that all the tubs are pretty well done. I'm still gonna plate these bits up and weld all those holes up just where all the spot welds were for the spring mounts, but I just want to get these all in primer. So I'm pretty happy with how these have turned out. That's one side, and they go right down in there. So I've extended them down, same as this side. I haven't Sikaflexed the joins or anything just yet, just because I want to get the proper tool, like so I can. It's a proper triangle tool and it's got like a 10mm gap or a curve on it, so I can get a nice bead there. I'll just go up with the hoist. I've just painted underneath. It's drying at the moment. Underneath, so it's still drying there. You can see the stripes. All there. It's the panel there, all still drying. I just quickly sprayed to there. Same this side. Panel I made up here. And then all the way along there. That's all that. I've got this to come off, but I'm gonna cut that bracket off there because it's not gonna be used. I've got to cut this bracket off here. Just a few other little things that I've got to do under here, but I'm about to mock the wheels under there and start measuring up the diff, but that'll be for another video for you guys. So anyway guys, gonna leave the video there. Sorry it took a little bit longer than expected, just between juggling family life and work and getting out here to do a bit of work to the car, to the ute. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to get done for part 2. Just first part was cutting out the tubs. Second part was getting all the tubs welded in and all the tubs pretty well complete. But I just got to do a little bit of Sikaflex. And then now you can see I've got it rigged up on the stands, on the ladder, whatever you want to call it. Rigged up there, and that's going to be for the next video. I'm going to measure up to work out the diff. So anyway guys, give it a like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.